Scanning for life form. Target identified. Your resistance will only extend your suffering. Upgrade and join us. I will elevate you like me.
Mike Comtech coming to you here with another video. Let's turn him over. We can get so I can show you inside here. First, I want to explain to you what we did to. This is part 2, by the way. This is of the THD 3000 repair of the lower bracket right here. You can see, I don't know if you can see it very well or not. I mean, it's all dark in here. The brake was right here on this screw post. It was right at this, just a little bit beyond what the original screw only extended into about that far. And then over here, same way. It's just broke basically right at the screw level. So right about here, right there. That one broke off. So, of course, what I did to fix that was to use longer screws here. And then what I did, I took the little caps that broke off, left them, you know, the same contour as they broke so I could put them back. I drilled the holes in the 2 little pieces that broke off. I drilled the holes bigger diameter than this screw, because basically I didn't want to use these as support and then, you know, try to glue this and then use that back to support that. No, I wanted this screw to go beyond the point of the brake. And then we got lucky because I do have a little light shining in there, and you can see that screw post goes all the way back to the back side of the skull head. So that screw post is really long, and then it's reinforced along the ribbing here. There's all kinds of reinforcement, and you can see the reinforcement over here on this side right here, this whole rib of plastic. So that screw post on this one as well goes all the way back. So that was very fortunate. So the only reason that I did take a little glue and put on here just to hold those caps that broke off in place until I got the screws started. But like I said, I drilled the holes bigger in the 2 pieces that broke off, because I wanted the screw just to pass right on through that part, because I didn't want it to screw into it, because the stress would have, you know, totally ripped it, even the glue off there. So it went past this point, and then I screwed into about right here. So those screws actually go into about here, so it's got plenty. So these broke off pieces were just like glorified standoff posts, you know. So that was the magic trick. You drill these bigger than that screw, you screw on in and get a little bit longer screw, and you screw into the post farther. On this particular brake, that's what was able to fix it, because it was lucky enough that the screw posts were long enough. Sometimes you don't have that you know, that option to be able to do that. Maybe your screw posts are a little shorter. You just have to address that a different way. And then I drilled these holes bigger in this ball bracket right here. I drilled these bigger to accommodate the new diameter of the screw. So now, actually, this is more solid than it was when it came from the original factory. It's actually now should withstand you know, everyday use, but that's not what took it out. I mean, what took it out was in shipping, they get banged around much more than they would ever probably get banged around in just normal everyday use. So that was the fix for this broken joint here. And if you look at part 1 of the video, you'll see how they broke and more clearly, and where they broke. And like I say, that was the fix for that. So that was good. And then I'll pull this flashlight out here and I'll shine it on here. Get back here where you can see it. So there you can clearly see probably where those 2 pieces of plastic meet. Right there where those two crack lines are. One on the left, one on the right. And then, like I say, drill them out, and then the glue was just there just to hold them in place until the screw got on back farther. So that took care of that problem. So This is on my jig that I made here to support this, and that's a little shim that I put in there to shim the notch that's in here, so it won't spin in that hole. And then for testing purposes, that's why I make these little jigs, because you can't hold that head. You have to have some place to put it. And then also I was telling you in part one that we wanted to put change the LED on the left from red to green. So I did that. And then so I put the green LED in the eye socket right there, and then put two 100 ohm resistors, and I paralleled these two LEDs. These are, I'll show you more of this, but I want to show you the LEDs that I used. These are the brand and the size. These are the pink long lead. These are the 5mm size, and I'm, if I butcher this name, I'm not sure. Chenzon. I mean, that is the brand of the LED. Of course, I got these from Amazon, and these are 20 milliamp, and they're 3 volt to 3.2 volts. And they call them pink, but really they're a really nice purple. Now that's for the eyeball side that I put that in. So that LED in the servo controlled eye, that LED it sits in there. That is the purple one. And then here's the green ones that I use too. So here's the greens. Same voltage, 3 volts, 3.2, 20 milliamp, 5mm green. And these have the clear lenses on them. They're not the diffuse type. These are the clear lens. Very important, because these are a higher brightness, and I want them to beam like a laser on the left, on that one eye for sure. So I just wired the 2 resistors, 1 resistor per LED, because that way we're not pulling down the voltage. I want these as bright as possible. And I measured the voltage at the blue and the green wire coming in from the breakout board. Where the LED plugs into is right here, this one right here. And it's clearly marked on the circuit board, LED negative, positive. And then, so they clearly marked that. So that's where that comes in. So I measured the voltage there. It was about 4.7. And then, so I definitely wanted to put dropping resistors on there, because I didn't want to totally overdrive those LEDs. You overdrive an LED and you will shorten its lifespan considerably. So let me reapply the power to this THD 3000 head, this half, and we'll activate the IR sensor. So there's the mouse motor. That is not a servo, that's an actual motor. The motor is the red and the black on the left, and then that runs out up to the breakout board. Right here on the very left, where it says, I do believe it says, I can't really make out what it says there, but that's the red and black one. That is the motor input, and then you've got your 4-wire input from the controller, and then that's ground, 6 volts, and then receive, and probably that screw is covering the other one up. I'd say that would be transmit, like a serial communication here to these servos, and then it's activated again. So looking on the front, we have the green laser on the front, and you can see how it beams there. I'll aim it right into the camera. And then the purple LED is inside the servo eye, gives it a little more character. And then I will put this half back on the other half, and then I'll show you what it looks like in the dark, we're in a darkened room. Looks really good now. And then basically, I just looped the wire over and then laid the LED in there, and those servos aren't gonna, it's not gonna get in the way of the servos at all. That's a really flexible wire, and then that LED just kind of rides around inside that eye cup anyway, and that won't hurt anything. I've checked it numerous times. It's not binding the eye in any shape, way, or form, so that's a good thing there. And then we'll just kind of try it. I wish I could get it centered more, but I can't, there's no way unless, you get right in there and do that. But, you get the light right, then it does light up the eye good. But at least you can define the eye in a darker area. You can see the eye better. I just thought I would try it and just see what it looked like. So each one of the LEDs there, the green and the purple, are getting about 3 volts. That's after the two 100 ohm resistors there, because we're powering this all up, with the SVI props run on 5.9 volts, either a 2 amp adapter on the normal ones, and usually the servo props that SVI has, they require a 3 amp 5.9 volt adapter. So what we got left to do now is just mount him back onto the back here, and then plug in channel 1, 2, and 3 back into the channel 1, 2, and 3 on the breakout board here. So I shall return and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all put back together.
1 minute later.
Millions of years of evolution to arrive at this point in humanity. The next logical step is for you to be upgraded, reconstructed, improved. This world does not belong to you. It belongs to us. Do you not realize that you will take the next step and assimilate now or be deleted? Don't bother running, human. Eye tracking sensors still function, and your destruction is imminent. My internal calculations have determined that your chances of escape are less than 1%. Goodbye.
Okay, we're back. So that's fully put together, and all the back on, and I just put the hat back on there. Since it's Christmas time, I just put the hat back on there for now. But anyway, it's the purple worked out pretty well. I mean, it looks better in person because the camera does have a little bit of a hard time picking up the pupil. But it's the pupil, I guarantee you, is much more defined than it was in the video here. And then kicking back up here, all the servo movements on the eye are perfectly fine. Close up going here, because the pupil is darker, but the camera picks it up better if I get a little closer, and it picks it up better. And then the green laser LED, it definitely beams like I wanted it to. So what it had before was the red laser, and now I put a red, instead of the red LED, I put a green high brightness clear. And I showed you what the brand was and what kind I used. So, and then, yeah, it worked out good. I'll back up here a little.
Searching complete. You are approved for extermination. Stand by. Thank you for your cooperation. Have a nice day.
Yeah, that's what you want to hear a cyborg say, is have a nice day. Anyway, this little project turned out pretty well, and then I'll just right now that LED, it's in there, but it's kind of floating, and it's completely out of the way from any of the servo movement. But but if I didn't want to really make it super permanent right now, but it wouldn't hurt a thing because it's pretty much suspended in there. That wire is stiff enough that it's going to hold it in place the way it's positioned. So, and then I'm still working with these motors have two different, one, it's got one micro switch in each motor, but the motor outputs, these are 5-wire. So 2 of the wires are for the power, positive and negative, and then there would be a normally open and normally closed on, and then a ground on the switches, on the micro switches in here. So I'm going to pop the back here. Here's one of them, and then you can tell right off the bat the brown and the well, that orange one and the brown running in here, that's where the motor is. And then we got a yellow, a white, and a red that run into, this is where the, underneath this panel right here, is where that micro switch is. That's where they are. So I want to get in there and verify that's what that is. I'm sure that's what all the rest of them are. So this one, this controller is wanting to see like open and closed at certain time intervals. So the control box can then knows, okay, these motors are in home position, it's okay to turn on. And then it resets all the servos in the head here. So there are 1, 2, 3, let's see, 3 servos that run the all the articulation on the head back and forth, this, you know, up and down motion this way, and then rotation. And then there are 3 servos in there that run the eyelid, the winking, the eye up and down, right and left, and then 2 servos actually run that back and forth, up and down, and then the eye winking is another servo. And then we just have a regular motor, as I said before, that runs the mouth here. And then over here, of course, we got the green LED now. So anyway, thank you guys for watching my videos. I appreciate it. We will talk to you all later.